Thanks everyone for joining us. Today, our first guest that we're going to be interviewing is from Lotus Homestaging, and they're going to teach us how to use color to brighten up our home. So, hi guys.
Hi.
You introduce yourself and tell me a little bit more about yourself and your company and how you guys got started.
Sure, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm Kris, Grimsley, and so a little bit about ourselves. Well, I'll let you introduce yourself first, then we can talk about the company.
And I'm Misty Kuo.
And so our company, we do staging, which probably a lot of people are familiar with who are watching this, but making homes look good for resale, make them look presentable and joyful, and just make them look like something a potential buyer would love to live in. And then we also do redesign, and so that's just, people know what that is too, but that's obviously just, decorating or helping people pick up furniture and color and flooring, just all those things that go into a home.
Yeah.
So.
And tell them a little bit about yourself.
Oh gosh, a little bit about myself. I have lived here for, I guess, about 8 years, a little over 8 years. I moved from Charlotte, North Carolina. Really just followed my parents here. They've been here forever. So always loved Hawaii. And here and living here is wonderful too, because it just totally lends to what we do with color and just everything. Very, just a great place to live.
Yeah. So let's see. I moved here about 7 years ago and met Kris within a few months of moving here from the Seattle area. My husband grew up here, so we were always here on vacation when our girls were little, and just decided before our oldest got into middle school to move over here for good, and met Kris within a few months, like I said, and then our very first meeting, we decided to start a business. So yeah, it just happened. And then it went from a hobby like about 7 years ago into like sometimes more than full-time now. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's really good. And I used to do photography in Seattle. So, and Kris also does, she's an artist and paints beautiful pictures. So we both had a love of design. So we just kind of mashed all that together. And now we do staging and interior design and love it.
I know. I'm like, you guys have such a wonderful eye, and I love everything you guys do.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
I love how you use color. I feel like that's why we I was like, okay, someone to talk about color, and I was like, I have to ask Lotus Homestaging. You guys do such a great job.
Thank you. You're sweet. Well, Instagram is huge, and it's such a visual thing that we do. And once we started Instagram, for any of you small business owners, that's been key in our business.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even have to be a visual business, but just being on Instagram, tagging people, it's been huge. So people love those before and after pictures too.
Yeah, everyone loves decor and just Instagram is like where you get inspired, right?
Yeah, totally. Yep.
There's so much out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you consider, I guess, your aesthetic? Because I feel like, what would you guys consider like your aesthetic or your style that you like to do in Hawaii?
I know, I know that we have a definite preference to what we love the most.
Yeah.
But then, every home has its own unique personality, where it is located, because not every home is that close to the ocean here. So you can't just always do that beachy look everywhere you go. So we have to get creative. And some homes are really modern. So then we have to kind of switch, it's not always our wheelhouse doing modern, but then we've had to grow in that area too. And so then that's been really fun. But I say our overall aesthetic is you're very, what do we call it? We call it,
like beach chic.
Beach chic. Yeah. Like a classy.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag beach chic.
Yeah, right?
Let's take your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, a tropical, modern, classy vibe.
Without being like too kitschy or, we just like to bring in touches with maybe some unexpected pillows or colors or something that people wouldn't think about putting together, but it looks nice overall.
Yeah, so can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like, I feel like a lot, so, you know, the purpose of this is like a lot of people are at home and a lot of time at home, and how we can just, I don't know, invest in our home and our spaces right now to feel more comfortable. How can they do that with like color, and what's your tips on that?
Yeah.
Well, I know, and I'm like investing in a home, so I think a lot of people immediately think, oh, that's a remodel, you know, and you need the investment,
Totally.
but then like what you're talking about is there's so many cheaper ways to do it with pillows and with artwork and just changing your paint color. Paint's not very expensive, and if you're willing to do it yourself, it's really cheap. So, but then obviously we'll get into more about, you know, what colors and what paints and things like that with some of the pictures. But I mean, those are really, you can go really cheap in your pillows and still come across with a, you know, a big change, or you can, you know, spend a lot of money on pillows and, you know, achieve the same type of look.
I know, pillows can be so expensive.
Oh my gosh. And you can tell when you touch them. I mean, there is a big difference in quality, but if you don't care about that, you know, there's so many other options. I mean, Target has pillows if you're willing to
change it up sometimes, right?
Yeah, and I think Target does, and that's probably the reason why they've stayed in business so long, is because they try really hard to be on trend. So, and then you don't feel bad about bringing home a few $20 pillows.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal.
So guilty for
Yeah, I know. And if you have like, we always tell a lot of our clients, and we do it for staging too, just get your kind of more neutral colors for your couch, let's say, and then you can just change out a rug or pillows a lot easier than a big sofa too.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many like do you like guys have like a formula, like how many colors you can use in a space to like brighten up a space, or is there even a formula?
Well, I think the safest thing to do, I mean, I don't think there's exactly a formula, except for, I mean, if you want to use lots of different colors, as long as you stay in the same paint, like the family of colors, like let's say we're really like teal, but you can't do everything teal because that would be overwhelming. But then you could go like several shades lighter, and just, you could find a couple pillows in different shades of teal, like super light, and then maybe a couple pops of the really dark. And then you could introduce like a navy, and anything that would be in the blue family is all going to work together. And then say you like green, but if you do maybe more bluish greens, then, you know, that could still work. And then there are certain things that we call neutrals that everything works with, and that would be gray and white. Even black is considered a neutral. Obviously, when paint falls black, but, you know, just, and like what Misty was saying, if you just have your biggest surfaces lighter colors like grays and whites and light blues, and your flooring maybe a light brown or a dark brown too, but just, you know, then everything else, you could get away with anything then at that point. I think as long as you stay in the same families, like you could do different blues, a couple different greens, and then you could do a, you know, a little pop of black here and there if you wanted to, but not a lot, you know, just a little touch. But we could show you pictures too. I was thinking maybe with some pictures, and we could talk about all the things that we just talked about, like, okay, this is a good example of how we blended 4 colors, you know, or just 2. But yeah, and I think you get a feeling when it's right, and you get a feeling when it's wrong.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people know it's wrong, and they don't know why.
And I think for a lot of people, if they maybe don't quite know their style, just to, like, when you get the magazines at home, just start like a little file or something on the computer. If people are still doing Pinterest, you know, just start something where you start saving, and then eventually you'll see what you might not know the name of it, but you'll say, okay, I really tend to like grays, and I didn't know that before, but every picture has grays in it, or something like that. So that's really helpful. And it's really helpful for a designer too. Like if you think that you're maybe wanting to call somebody or calling us, if you have a file or something on your computer already and say, I love this about this room, I don't like this about that room. That's so helpful. And I think a lot of the times people are afraid to tell designers what they don't like, but it's so helpful for us to know, hey, this guy doesn't like navy blue or whatever, but loves all the other blues.
Right.
Super helpful.
Yeah, so stay away from that.
Yeah, super helpful. Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
No, go.
I just thought about when you said rules, and that's kind of a big thing with us too. You know, I feel like people think there are certain rules you have to stick to with design. And I feel like our personal philosophy, we may have our personal things we love, but that doesn't mean it's the only rule. You know, I don't think there's a rule. I think if you love something and it may not be trendy, who cares? You know, if it brings you joy, put it in your home.
Yeah.
And other people might not like it, but that's, you know, they don't live in that home. So if you like it, then it's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what makes it your home and like a space. I mean, that's the whole goal. Like, make a space that you can love. And
yes, and we always tell homeowners, if you want it in your home because you like it, then put it in your home because you'll enjoy it. Totally. Yeah.
And that's where it gets a little, and then there becomes this, like, you know, there's a gray area then, because if you're trying to sell your home, that's an entirely different philosophy. It's like, well, you might like a lot of brown, but maybe it's just not going to work in this house as well.
Yeah. On the wall.
Yeah. And one last thing I will say about one thing that Kris and I have definitely learned over the years in working together as partners is that there's oftentimes there is more than one right answer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you don't, like, we used to, when we first started out, we'd get so stuck on pillows on the couch, whatever. But I'm like, you know what? We were both like, at the end of the day, they both look good. So let's just pick one set of pillows. Like, so there's just more than one right answer most of the time. Yeah.
I know. I've been there where I'm like, I'm at the shelf and it takes me like 30 minutes. And the next day I go back and it's like 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I just need to take a break.
Yeah. And we've gotten really good at just saying, you know what? It's all cute stuff, so it's all gonna look good. So you know what I mean? So you just put it up there and you're like, okay, that looks good.
Yeah, and I think what's fun about a home, I'm always doing this. And growing up, I feel like my mom was always doing it. You can just change it.
I know,
like,
that's what people.
With the space, like, and like, so. Yeah,
and even with paint colors, I know it's a big like commitment, but really it can be changed.
Yes.
Paint takes time, but it's really not permanent, like moving a wall or something.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well, you guys said you guys had some projects or something you guys wanted to share. Could you share some of that with us and maybe kind of walk through how you guys include color in your space or any, your tips and stuff?
Yeah.
So,
we'll just throw some different things up there and explain
what we did. Let me grab a
why.
picture. Do you want to do this one first?
Sure. See, do you want to start talking till I know it's there?
I'm just going to do my little screen share. Hold on. Check. There we go. It's coming. There we go. Okay. It should be on there now.
Okay. I see it.
Okay.
Okay. So you were talking about like how many colors and, that type of thing. So what we did here was basically, you can see the flooring back there. It's kind of a brownish gray. And then the walls are, those are the big surfaces that we had to work with. And then it's obviously very natural. It's stone. It has a lot of browns and grays in it also. So it makes sense to bring in, so you can't see the rug that well, but it's a very big grayish rug. And then, so that was a great thing to put on there, is like a nice big neutral. And then we can start we didn't want to do too much, but we tried to go for a little more of a soothing look, but still keep some natural stuff going on because that's how the house felt. So like you can see there's some natural, like with the wood, that's an organic type of feeling thing. And so we like that brown that we brought in, like really light. And then the chairs are kind of just a very grayish green. And then the same thing, it kind of matched with the plates. And like, I think one of the things somebody was asking is like, what are the trendy colors of like 2019 and 2020? Yeah. I think one of the trendy things has been dusty pink, I keep saying. It's kind of a light play on pink. So then we try to do some of the trendy things for sure if we think it looks good. But sometimes it doesn't always look good. But this was definitely kind of a trendy pastel thing going on for the last year. But we don't do too much of that all the time though. So then, go ahead.
Oh no, I just love that the colors are like soft too.
Yeah, we got a lot of positive feedback from this look. A lot of people really, really liked it. And those dishes are so cute. They're from Anthropologie.
Oh my gosh.
I know. They're super cute. They're like two-tone. You can see in that bowl at one of the head chairs, like the two tones. And then We had just to put in a little linen napkin in there just to keep that organic feel going.
And that's fun to, I think too, what people can play around with the play settings. You just play around, do things different. You don't have to have it set like, an etiquette way. You don't have to have like the napkin, and you can just play.
Yeah,
There's no rules.
Yeah, we always try to figure out something new to do with the napkin.
It looks, I don't know, a surprise.
Yeah, I've noticed that you guys do a lot of fun ways of like displaying things on tables.
Yeah. Well, I think too with staging, it's important because we have so much, we do have a lot of inventory, but we don't want anybody to feel like we're just doing the same thing in the same thing over and over again. So even if we're using the same pieces, we try to switch it up so it looks fresh, so that so realtors don't come in and go, oh, I've seen this exact same situation at the house.
Yeah.
We're always trying to mix it up so it feels fresh.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
And in some places, a table set wouldn't look right. Like it would be too busy.
Yes.
So sometimes you just don't and leave it.
Yep. So should I unshare that picture now?
Yeah, you can share if you have any more you want to share, or we can go back.
We do have a lot of pictures. But you can cut it off at some point.
Yeah,
okay, enough.
Should we do one more picture about why we chose those colors, maybe?
Yeah, I feel like visually, so that people can understand what we're talking about.
So we could show you how you could use maybe a pop of black. Would that be good?
Yeah.
Because that can sometimes be an intimidating color, I think, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah, we'll do this one real quick, which is a tropical use of black, I think, more.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Because I think a lot of people think that black is maybe in a super contemporary home, or, but I don't, that shouldn't be the case. Obviously, from this picture, with the black frame, there's not a lot of black, but there's enough that it catches your eye. It makes it feel kind of rich. There's a little black and white polka dots on the sides of those pillows that are so cool.
And even in the lamp, like there's contrast.
Yeah.
And those pillows are Lauren Wolf.
Yeah.
So super beautiful pillows. You can look her up on Instagram and her website. And then those pictures are Nick Kuchar too, in the black frames that you can buy. You can buy his prints at a lot of different places online too, his website. And then just bought the mat and the frame, here probably at Ben Franklin or something.
I know. So we try super hard to try to tap into some of the more local.
Yes.
But it obviously is not always easy with staging.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to design. But yeah, just try to bring those elements in.
And then I think adding a little bit of which we call natural, the organic, the little on the ottoman, the wicker tray kind of thing always is nice here to bring in a piece of that organic.
Yeah.
Feel.
Especially with like tropical or coastal.
Yeah.
I love that element. Well, so this is so do you guys have your like favorite colors that you like to add, especially in Hawaii? And is it different from staging versus like home design? I don't know, or even just personal. What would you like if someone wants to like, I don't know, have more of that beachy vibe? What kind of?
We have a good like little trick here. Let me, oopsies. Hold on just a moment. Yeah. Okay, let me share another picture.
I know, sometimes with color, it's like food. I don't have a favorite, but then and like I feel like every like, I don't know, because you do something that looks so good, you're like, oh, that's my favorite.
I know, I say that.
Yeah. And then we work with like emerald green. I'm like, oh, that's my favorite.
Oh, I know. I like emerald.
Like you said, the other ones are favorite. I'm like, I don't know everyone's.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
See that up there?
Yes, I do. So
yeah, this is like a little trick that a lot of people can use, and it's giving a little bit of our trade secrets. But if you tune in, I guess you get a secret. So this little beachy print here with the black little polka dot kind of things. So that's a print from Etsy. So that's a trick that we have. You can download those for really, really reasonable prices, and then you have them printed locally. And then actually what the two pieces of wood are just trim from the hardware store.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So it's really fun to have the bigger pieces and then bring that, once again, that natural to tie in like the floors and just the sand outside. This was on the water, so it's really pretty. This home was on the water up in the North Shore.
Yeah, so this is right, the blues, the natural wood color, that is a great way to bring in beachy to your home. Very, yeah.
Just soothing. It's just I think when we come up with a really soft, soothing blues theme is probably both of our personal favorites.
Yeah, no, that's my favorite color. Like the Lani Kai blue kind of color is my favorite color for sure.
Yeah.
Lani Kai blue, yes.
I know. We realized that Misty and I both have the same color. Like
I know, and then we ended up with blue shirts
I'm like,
on.
oh, look at us.
So funny.
Same exact blue. I'm like, we matched the painting there.
Yeah, we do actually. That's so funny. So funny.
Okay, no, thank you so much. So are these like your personal favorite color? I'm just wondering, like personally, is this how your home is? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is Kris's house.
It's messy. We're not doing a tour.
Yeah.
But
our homes are very similar looking.
Yeah, all those colors. Yeah, lots of organic touches of the brown and blues and whites and
we both have those Lauren Wolf pillows.
Yes, I'd have like tons more if I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love that soft. And then once again, I do love so many different looks, but to me that's personally that's what makes me happy. And so if you walk, and when I walk in my, when you walk in that's what everybody should feel. When you walk in your house, no matter what style it is or how big it is or how small it is, it doesn't matter. It just somehow, you should feel good when you walk into that space. And I've read a lot of things about like interior design and how it's becoming more of a, they're realizing how your surroundings do have a lot to do with your mental health, how you feel, how it just makes you feel that day or all the time.
Your quality of life, right?
Yeah, because your home is, you should be able to, it should smell a certain way and feel and look, hit all the senses in a good way.
Yeah, and especially now with obviously
we're in our
people
homes.
being home a lot more, how important our homes, the space that we're living in, is important.
Yeah, I know. I feel like really before this quarantine, I spent more time outside of my home than inside my home, running around all the day.
Yeah.
And even though there was it's been good and bad, right? Through this quarantine, there's tough days and good days, but it really makes you reflect on how you want your home to feel and really appreciate your home in a different way. I feel like.
Yeah. It did. Yeah, and that's why I ended up wallpapering my laundry room.
I know. I love your wallpaper. We need to show everyone that too. We'll share that.
Yeah. Well, and it was fun. I did it with my daughter. It was that peel and stick from Target. If I didn't like it, unpeel it, take it down.
Yeah, that's reasonable ways to invest in home by changing color or.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think another thing too, and thank goodness we're so lucky to live here where we can be outside also. And I don't think it matters what your outside living situation is. Some people have big yards, some people have pools, some people have just a teeny tiny little lanai, but it doesn't matter. If you could just bring some sort of comfortable little seating, maybe a couple, just something that you can enjoy it outside too. That's we can escape outside so easily. It's getting a little hotter now, but
I know.
So we're so lucky.
Yeah, just add a plant or a little table, have a place where you can just relax. I know.
Really.
So I guess one of the questions we wanted to ask everyone is what does home mean to you, and what have you guys? We kind of touched on that, but what are you guys doing right now to invest in your own home?
Gosh, I feel like all we're doing is working in other people's homes.
I know. That's true. Kris's husband is putting in new baseboards. That's a big project. Yeah, that's huge. And her old baseboards were driving her crazy.
They were so ugly.
So that's really nice that Todd's doing that.
It's such a small thing, but it's made such a big difference.
It does, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't look at my baseboards. Okay.
Funny how those little things do make such a big difference.
It does.
But, you know, once again, like if you have friends come over or whomever, they probably aren't noticing your baseboards. But if they bother, I know, and I tease Kris, but they really bothered her. So she should change them. And Todd's lucky enough to figure out how to do it himself, which is great.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think
in your laundry room.
Oh yeah, my laundry room. I guess we could show a picture because it's really cute. It is a really nice way to do something, you know, like a little project maybe, you know, if you have a little bit older kids maybe. It just might take me a minute to find my laundry room picture.
I know, I had my kids help me paint.
Oh yes, I've been down that road. I've been down that road.
Everything. Well, I'm like, it's the journey, but I want them to be involved. And I want them to know it's hard work too, you know?
It is hard work. And
well,
my daughter,
my
daughter's 18, and it was hilarious because she was actually better at it than I was because she got real like detail oriented, which we didn't know she had that in her. So that was fun. It was really fun. So here I can show.
And she thought it was hard too.
She did at one point. She kind of, we like to joke around a lot, but she kind of threw down.
It's a bonding thing. Like you see it after you reward. Like they did this. They're like, "Mom, it looks so good."
Yeah, it was really fun. Okay, here's my laundry room.
I just love it.
Yeah, it was really fun. And then I switched out once again. The light fixture was just from Amazon, $130. You know, it came within a week, and it just brings in that natural, organic feel that to me is just so tropical. And then, like I said, this wallpaper was on clearance from Target. And I ordered more online. So.
And I'm starting to see those light. I think you're like a trend starter. I'm starting to see those light fixtures so many places now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bali Boo.
Yeah, we're just in Bali Boo. They have all sorts of styles and one was huge. I'm like, oh, I love that. Yeah. But it was just really, I love it. And it works so well here.
Yeah. And doing a big pattern like this is nice in a powder room, laundry room, or something that's smaller where you don't, I mean, first of all, I could never wallpaper a whole bedroom like that. Just enough. But just that small of space is enough for that big print. Like, you know, I think for around here. So
it's so fun. It's so fun, and it still brings that coastal vibe, and the colors like kind of like is that like a blue grayish tone?
Yeah, it's maybe a little more bluer in person. Than it is on the picture, but it has like Kris was saying in the beginning of this that it's a lot of those shades of the same kind of blues. Yeah. So yeah, it's fun. Easy peasy.
So don't get intimidated by wallpaper.
Exactly.
It can make such an impact on a space. Right? I can't wait to do wallpaper. We have those old walls.
No, but I love those walls. Our other house had them because it just adds that little bit of, and it's really good too. Like the redwood is really good.
I like the color of your walls.
Yeah,
wallpaper too. Thank you.
No, those are. I love the having a little bit of the. You know what I'm trying to say? Texture or whatever. Yeah.
Well, anything, I don't know. So you guys kind of shared, like, there's not really the color trend. Do you think that there's like color trends right now, 2020?
You know, I've seen that like, and you can help me out too, but I think like I can't remember what it's called, but it's called like a brilliant blue, like or a true blue. And to me, it looks just like a navy that's not so dark. Maybe a cross between a royal blue and a navy is kind of what this color is. And it is very beautiful and very rich. It kind of reminds me, like, you know, emerald green was last year, and then it kind of turned into this vivid jewel toned blue.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, once again, that whole dusty, like some of the pastels. But I feel like I kind of wonder, you know, with everything that's going on with the whole pandemic, and
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if people will just whatever makes them feel soothing and spa-like. You know what I mean? I kind of wonder, because I feel like everybody in every different level is under some different type of stress.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder if the trend will just go to this whole super soft soothing thing. I don't know. I'm kind of curious what happens.
Yeah.
So
I think we all need that right now. Just like, I just want to be in a place that's soothing, no matter what, whatever that soothing color is. If it's black, I mean, you know, dark, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I'm kind of curious what would happen with fashion. To me, fashion and house colors, whatever the trend is, they really work together, because it's all design. And yeah, they all mimic each other along. It's kind of interesting to see how it plays out with clothing versus pillows and colors. And so I don't know what the design trend's going to turn into in 2021.
I know. I'm always curious too. I feel like interior design definitely follows like kind of like the fashion trend now.
Yeah.
Like, especially with Target paving the way. They like really pave the way.
Yes.
Well, especially because like Isaac Mizrahi and stuff. I mean, he was just a fashion designer, and then now, you know, a long time ago, then he started at Target doing like bedding and everything. So yeah, you can see how the two marry very easily. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for just sharing your tips and just how people can like add color to their home, and kind of sharing your like trade secrets too with us. Is there anything, I don't know, is there anything else you guys want to share with anyone about, I don't know, investing in your home right now? And
don't be afraid to try something new.
Exactly what I
really.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, if you want to be bold, try it. You know, don't be afraid to try something new. You know, just I think a lot of people are afraid to do something, or I don't know, maybe you can word it better.
Well, I think, yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing. And I guess I have a philosophy in life anyway, that nothing's really, I mean, your family, and if you believe in God and all, you know, that's permanent. But where you move, what kind of furniture you have, or what your paint walls, none of that is permanent. If you aren't happy with something, you can change it. So don't be afraid to buy or change. And actually, you know what I did with that wallpaper? I changed some, I made it into a piece of artwork. So I got a frame.
Awesome.
And then I stuck it on some older Target prints that we didn't like. So you know what I mean? There's just like, just play around with stuff. Yeah. Nothing's permanent. If you don't like it in a couple years, swap it with a friend. You know, maybe she likes your pillows, maybe you like her pillows. Switch it out.
Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah,
I feel like your style evolves. Just like how you evolve. Like,
totally. Absolutely.
I'm always changing things out. I'm like, and you feel bad. I don't know why, but I feel better every time I refresh my space. Just pillows, or like,
I know, it's huge.
Or my photos or anything.
Yeah. Or just have, you know, a couple of plants, something live. And I think like right now it's nice to have like a piece of, like you have some plants behind you. I think it's good to bring in some greenery and have a living thing in your home too. Especially since we're spending so much time. Like Z plants last really good. The cast iron plants last really good in the home. So, and then you can always ask at the nursery what works well inside, because I've killed my fair share of plants that don't live inside.
That's one thing we're not really good at. People ask us like about landscaping, or like,
you gotta.
Yeah, I mean,
it's outside of our comfort zone.
I know it looks good.
I'm working on it. I know. I like how plants just give. That's an easy way to add color too, right? Especially in Hawaii.
And you know, Target has some really nice fake plants.
They do.
So I guess when in doubt, if you want like a really large palm and you're afraid to spend a little bit of money and worried that you're gonna, you know, that it won't last, you can get one from Target.
Totally.
And then, you know, and like the whole this has been like a trend on the mainland forever is, inside outdoor living. I'm like, we've been doing
yeah.
that forever.
Yeah.
We got that down.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So we're bringing, the outdoors in. Well, I think people here have been doing that for a long time. And it is a nice thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
And they have such cute pots now.
Yeah.
I know.
Like before it was, there's just really cute pottery, and Geobunga has such cute stuff, and City Mill now carries those little plant sacks.
I know, we got so excited about this the other day. I'm like, look at these things.
I know. So there's just lots of places.
Yeah, we have lots of options here.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, if anyone wanted to contact you guys, how could they get in touch with you? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Oh gosh, anyway,
Instagram, texting, calling,
email.
Our Instagram is the most up to date for what we're doing. Sometimes I get a little behind because we're so busy. I don't always get on there to post. But yeah.
Our website is it's a little up to date, but it's
it's a little
Instagram's better.
What's that?
I mean, we're the same.
I know, it's hard. Ugh. I know it seems so silly that it's hard to get on there every day and post, but before you know it,
that means you guys are busy. People are really loving what you're doing, and they want you guys to.
Yeah, and I think Instagram is a nice place to go just because they're the amount of photos of our work, so people can kind of get an idea, but also to realize that that's not the only thing or type of style that we do, that we work with any kind of homeowner, or if somebody just has a question, or where'd you get this, or where do you get frames, or whatever, just send us a little message or text us or email us or anything.
Okay, that's great. And we'll share your information as well.
Well, thank you.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for taking time out to do this interview. It was great to see your faces. I know we've talked and communicated in other ways, so it was so nice to finally get to meet you guys.
I know.
Super fun.
Next time I'll be a little more presentable.
That is baby life.
Today.
I was the indoor worker today, and
I
was the hothouse worker today.
Yeah, so sorry.
Oh, no. That is real life right there.
It's real life, yes. Very hot today in the house. But all good.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.